In the year 2000, there were two kings of home entertainment. One was a global empire with 9,000 stores, a household name that dominated Friday nights. The other was a tiny, bleeding money startup that mailed DVDs in flimsy red envelopes. Blockbuster was the Goliath. Netflix was a David that hadn't even found its slingshot yet. But in a single meeting, in a Texas boardroom, one of these kings was offered the chance to buy the other, and their decision would become one of the biggest, most spectacular business blunders in modern history. By 2000, Netflix was in trouble. Their idea was brilliant. Pay a monthly fee, get DVDs by mail, and, most importantly, no late fees. This idea was born from co-founder Reed Hastings' own fury after getting a $40 late fee for the movie Apollo 13. But while the idea was revolutionary, the business was hemorrhaging cash. They were struggling. So Reed Hastings and his co-founder Mark Randolph flew to Dallas, to the Blockbuster headquarters, with a radical proposal. Their pitch was simple: we'll run your online brand. You promote us in your stores. We will be your streaming service. And to make it happen, they offered to sell their entire company to Blockbuster. The asking price? A mere $50 million. For Blockbuster, a multi-billion-dollar company, this was pocket change. It was a chance to instantly buy out their most innovative competitor and own the future of movie rentals. The Netflix team laid out their vision. They talked about the internet, about moving away from physical stores, about a future where movies were delivered digitally. They weren't just selling a company, they were selling the future. And then, Blockbuster's CEO, John Antioco, asked the question that sealed his company's fate. He looked at them, and according to Mark Randolph, who was in the room, he struggled to keep a straight face as he asked, "The dot-com hysteria is completely over. Why would we buy you?" The Blockbuster executives didn't just reject the offer. They laughed at it. They saw Netflix not as a threat, but as a tiny, niche internet business that would never compete with the experience of walking into a physical store. The meeting was over. Hastings and Randolph flew home, defeated, but now determined to survive on their own. That single moment of arrogance was the beginning of the end for Blockbuster. They were so blinded by their own success that they couldn't see the world changing right in front of them. They were obsessed with their profitable late fees, the very thing that had inspired Netflix's creation. Over the next decade, Netflix didn't just survive, it thrived. The red envelopes became iconic. Then, as internet speeds increased, they made the pivot to streaming, the very future they had tried to sell to Blockbuster. Meanwhile, Blockbuster, saddled with expensive stores and clinging to an outdated model, began to crumble. In 2010, exactly 10 years after that fateful meeting, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. Today, Netflix is a global media superpower worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And Blockbuster? Only one single, lonely store remains on the entire planet, a nostalgic relic of a fallen empire. It's one of the greatest what-ifs in business history. A $50 million deal that was laughed out of the room became a multi-billion-dollar mistake. It's a powerful lesson that the giants of today can become the fossils of tomorrow if they refuse to see the future coming. What company today do you think is making a similar mistake? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the Curozone. Stay curious.